Hey guys, Ben here and welcome back to another video on Superman Lois Season 4. Today we got some major breaking news in regards to why Superman Lois is actually coming to an end. The real reason has come out, so if you do go on to enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment and subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future DCTV videos later this year. Okay, so as I said, we got some huge breaking news coming from The Wrap. I'm going to be breaking down their article because they reveal why Superman Lois actually ended. So obviously we all know Season 4 is the last season, but we've been wondering, was this planned? Well, no, it wasn't planned. Was it forced by the CW? Like, was the CW like, okay, this is too expensive, we're not doing this anymore? I think that's what we all assumed. That's definitely what I assumed. Let me know down in the comments below if that's what you thought. But this article breathes new kind of light into this situation and why Superman Lois is actually coming to an end. And it's seemingly because of another force out there. So let's go into this. So CW's new bosses bet on linear. That's just the title of the article. They go into the CW as well as Superman Lois. But I'm going to read out the segment that the actual quote is in. So bear with me as I go through this. So if last year was a time of reinvention, this year is a time of breakthrough, says Brad Schwartz, the CW's president of entertainment. That's how the CW's president of entertainment laid out the network's goals during its executive session at the TCA. But getting to a place where breaking through was even an option took a great deal of work. Nexstar acquired a majority share of the network with 75% ownership in October 2022. This is another quote: "The business we inherited lost a lot of money. Maybe it did very well for Warner Bros. And CBS, but the actual business itself lost money. But that's not anybody's fault, that was the model." So fair enough, I like that he's being honest. He's just addressing the business as it was before, and that's why it's not successful in a way in terms of it doesn't make a bunch of money, but that's why they're trying to revamp the CW. They're trying to make it into this profitable venture. It goes on to state that Walker and Superman Lois are the two biggest remaining shows that they've got in terms of ratings and total audience numbers like each week. So Superman Lois averages about 819,000 viewers week to week, and obviously that stat is from season 3. And so this is another quote: "We went to our partners at CBS and Warner Brothers and we're just like, we're partners on these things and you sell them randomly around. Here's our economics. We can't keep losing the amount of money we were on the shows." Very collaboratively, everybody got together and we pushed for these 4 shows going forward. And so that is the shows that they got. So this is where we go into Superman Lois and the shocking news. And that is this: Schwartz noted that if these 4 series continue to perform from a ratings perspective and at their current cost, quote, "there's no reason why you couldn't keep doing them." And that includes Superman Lois. Schwartz then went on to clarify that despite how well Superman Lois has performed, the decision to end the DC property came from Warner Brothers. That is the breaking news. He says they don't want a competing Superman product in the marketplace, referring to James Gunn's 2025 movie Superman Legacy. So there you have it. That is the official reason why Superman Lois is coming to an end. DC and Warner Brothers asked Superman Lois and asked the CW to end Superman Lois before Superman Legacy comes out because they don't want any kind of confusion. They don't want 2 Supermans going at once. Now, I'm going to say this right here, right now. This doesn't feel like a James Gunn decision. This feels like a higher up decision. This feels like a David Zaslav decision over at Warner Brothers, because he specifically states this is from Warner Brothers. Doesn't say it's from DC Studios, which is where James Gunn is. So Warner Brothers, I'm thinking David friggin' Zaslav basically told them, okay, end the show before Superman Legacy because we know the situation at the CW, so let's ask them, can you end it here, because we don't want 2 Supermans at once. I mean, this is a debate that's been going on forever, especially with the Arrowverse and with the DCEU. Obviously they had multiple characters going at the same time, like multiple Flashes, and obviously one was better than the other. Then we had multiple Supergirls, we've had multiple Batmans, so it can get a little bit confusing to the general audience, but I don't think most people are going and watching Superman Lois and being like, oh, I didn't know that that's not the same Superman in Superman Legacy, because they're totally different projects, and yes, maybe the general audience wouldn't totally understand straight away, but I don't think they're watching both of them, to be honest. And in this situation, for once, I actually feel bad for the CW, because they've been put in this situation where they can't really say no to this, because Warner Brothers does have obviously a big stake in Superman and Lois, because they do produce it still, and they own the rights to the character. So it's pretty much going to be very hard if they disagree on this and the CW just wants to like push forward. You're not going to be able to use a lot of characters and things like that. So the CW was definitely put in a sticky situation, and considering that Schwartz says there's no reason why we wouldn't keep doing the shows at their current cost, including Superman and Lois, means they've been able to lower the cost so much that it's at a good point that it's justified for another season because of its ratings. And yes, it is the best rated show on the network. Like I said, it does over 800,000 viewers per week when it's on air. So obviously with this pricing, it's definitely sustainable. I thought it wasn't sustainable. I thought that was the reason that Superman and Lois was coming to an end with season 4, because the CW was just done with making anything slightly expensive. But it seems with those massive budget cuts, they've actually been able to put it down to actually a good place where they could have done another season if they were allowed to, but Warner Brothers stepped in and said, hey guys, we're doing Superman Legacy in a minute, so please don't do any more Superman and Lois, which I think is just such a big shame because it's such a good show. Imagine throwing it away just to make a Superman film. Like, yeah, I'm very excited to see James Gunn's Superman Legacy, but I don't think James Gunn would want this as well. Like, maybe I'm wrong about this, maybe it is James Gunn saying this, but I'm thinking this is someone higher up, and it's just, yeah, it just reeks of that. So it's not a good situation. I just can't believe that it's actually come out. I'm actually very grateful to Brad Schwartz at the CW for being open and honest and actually telling us this is the reason. We would have kept Superman and Lois going, which obviously is now sad to see that it's not going to happen, but at least he's being honest. So yeah, that's kind of it in regards to Superman and Lois and that breaking news. Let's talk a little bit more about the CW 2.0 and what has been working and what hasn't been working. So Schwartz went on to note that the procedurals that they've been doing, these blue sky procedurals as he calls it, such as Canadian shows, Sullivan's Crossing and Wildcards, also proved to work for the network. So Schwartz believes these series succeeded for the CW because the world wants them, and cable networks such as USA and TNT are no longer making them like they once were. There's also a certain kind of nostalgia around these series. Obviously you guys know Wildcards is the show with the Riverdale star, and there is some sort of appeal to a new show like Wildcards, especially because it's a CW original. But you know, some of these other shows that have come to the network since Nexstar took over, as we talked about many times, basically were shows that had been bought from elsewhere just to save money. But Wildcards was actually something a bit more unique, and it seems to be doing well. So big up Wildcards for doing well. But let's talk about the next thing. Not every bet worked. Case in point, F-Boy Island. So he says, I was very bullish on it. It was a big budget, big swing. So the network shot 2 seasons of the series at once and moved forward with a gender swap spin-off, F-Girl Island, though Schwartz praised the host and said he was very proud of the show, but he noted it didn't perform as expected. He says maybe the title turned some people off in a linear environment, maybe it was a little too young for linear, but he does say by his estimates that the series was huge on streaming, but not enough to pay for it. So a decision on the future seasons has not been made, but it is a flop. So the CW has had many flops in this new era. They still don't want to give up on reality TV shows, which, you know, they're pretty big on in terms of the new people in charge. So yeah, they're going to focus on smart, slow, steady growth. That is their kind of motto right now, and Superman Lois is obviously a part of that. Just in its final season, you got All American, you got Walker, you got All American Homecoming as well, that are going to be part of it. And I think those original shows that came from the previous regime are going to be very important because they already established fan base. But that pretty much does it for this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. What do you think of Superman Lois? and Warner Brothers stepping in and telling them to end the show because Superman Legacy is coming out. I think that is absolutely stupid. They shouldn't have done it, but at least we're getting the truth. So shout out to the CW and Brad Schwartz for actually doing something good for once. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment. It would really help this video get out there. Also subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos. But for now, you can click on the top right corner of the screen to watch my latest video, and I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.
I see red.